Swami Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Mahabhagavata Shri Gaurkishora Puri Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Saptami Goswami Sachitana Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Paramhamsa Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Guru Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Shri Rupananda Guru ki jai, Shri Gaudiya Chara Shri Balgava Vibhushan Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishnadas Shri Gaudiya Chara Shri Balgava Vibhushan Prabhupada ki jai, Krishna Chakravati Thakur ki jai, Shri Narottam Srinivas Shivananda Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad ki jai, Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhakta Gauravata, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhakta Das Ravana Krishna Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Svarupa Damodara Raya Ramananda, Shri Gaura Prasada Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Vrindavan Thakur ki jai, Premcha Thakur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Shri Radha Krishna, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Shyamasundara, Radha Ramana, Radha Gopinatha, Radha Madhukar, Radha Lalita Madhava, Gandhara Giri Hari, Radha Vinod Bihari ki jai, Jai Shri Radha Krishna, Gopa Gopi, Gopa Vata Shri Shri Braja Mandala ki jai, Jai Shri Shyama Kunda, Radha Kunda, Yamuna, Ganga Tulasi, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Lalita Vishakha Adyashta Sakavrinda ki jai, Shri Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Ananga Manjari, Adyashta Sakavrinda ki jai, Shri Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Vamai Purnamasi Devi ki jai, Shri Navadvip Dham ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai, Sarva Vishnu Pradata Shri Giri Raja Dwarka Maharaj ki jai, Shri Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Vamai Purnamasi Devi ki jai, Shri Gopishara Mahadev ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Darshana Chakra ki jai, Sarva Vidunay Nashna Shri Simha Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Bhakta Varashri Prahlada Maharaj ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Charodam Charya Sampadara Vrinda ki jai, Akara Mat Maharaj Shri Chaitanya Mat ki jai, Shri Keshava Gaura Mat ki jai, Shri Giridhari Gaura Mat ki jai, Shri Rupa Sanatana Gaura Mat ki jai, Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti ki jai, Shri Harinama Sankirtana ki jai, Kamanta Hari Krishna ki jai, Krishna Balarama ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Ananta Gaura Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Padmanabha, Hari Hari.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Gauranga Balite Have Pulaka Sharira Hari Hari Balite Narayane Babinira Gauranga Balite Have Arka benitai chande karuna haibe samsara vasana mo kabhi tu chahabe arka benitai Vishaya chariya kabe shuddha biman kabe hama he ramo Shri Vrindavan Vishaya chariya he Shri Vrindavan Rupa Raghunatha Pade Haibe Akuti Kabe Hama Bujhabo Se Jugala Diriti Rupa Raghunatha Pade Raghunatha Pade Rahu Morayas Prarthana Karaye Sada Narotamodas Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Morayas Prarthana Karaye Sada Narotamodas Gauranga bolite habe Pulaka sharira Hari Hari bolite nayane adenira Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jai, Nitai Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Gurve Gaur Chandraya Radhikaya Itadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayati Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaura Tishe Nam Nityanandam Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalo Kalmashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sachavachai Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams, my Shraddha Pushpanjali, at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtotara Sata Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatara Sata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatara Sata Sri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams unto the lotus feet of all of my Sri Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavas. So yesterday there were some special occasions, but we decided that we would take a breather for a day after Nishringa Chaturdasi. So now we're resuming, and we will cover, briefly, we will cover these personalities who are appeared on the full moon. Actually, it's called Vaishak Purnima. Yesterday was the full moon day. And Sri Padmanabha Puripad, his appearance day on that day, and Sri Srinivas Acharya appearance day, Sri Parameshwari Thakur, his disappearance day, and Buddha Purnima, Lord Buddha's appearance day, Vishnu Buddha. So that was yesterday. And today, Friday the 24th, is the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, who is a very great disciple preacher of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I have a very special liking for him, because when I read his biography the first time a few years ago from Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, I became so overwhelmed what kind of personality he is. And he was very near and dear to our Srila Prabhupada also. So we'll cover these topics. Just wanted to mention that a message was sent to me by Raghava Maharaj this morning about a cyclone. Have you heard about that? Have you heard already? Cyclone coming? Okay. So it's supposed to be touching down, they don't know exactly when, but sometime around the 26th. And the rains, very heavy rains and wind, is supposed to be starting to come onto the shore. Could be in Calcutta, also the Sundarbans at the southernmost point of Bengal. Those jungle areas should be hit by the cyclone. And the rains are supposed to be coming between the 25th and the 27th in Calcutta. Heavy rains. They even said X amount, so many centimeters of rains. Now, as far as here, probably we'll get winds and rain, for sure we'll get. But because we're so far from the ocean, and the cyclones actually come on the ocean mostly, and the land that is just there on the ocean. I was in Jagannath Puri when they had that hurricane cyclone. When was that? You were also there. I think that was 2019. And it also came in the month of May. 18. So it came in the month of May. And also according to this weather report, this May month is the month when many cyclones have come over the years. So it's really the atmospheric condition in the month of May is particularly productive of cyclones. So anyway, that's a bit of news. We will see what comes our way. And but our Gaurangi, Devi Dasi, she is going to fly on the morning, early morning of the 29th, and she has to leave here on the 28th. Oh, early morning the 30th, okay. So she has to leave here on the 29th. So probably we'll have to see what is the situation at that time. But should be okay. Should be okay. And no matter what happens, it's always okay for the devotees. Understand? It's always okay for the devotee, no matter what happens. It's always favorable. Yes, always. Okay, so now to go to the topics. Alright, so first we're reading Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj's discussion. This Vaishak Purnima, that is the name of this month's full moon, Vaishak Purnima. And also, it wasn't mentioned on the calendar, but also that day, yesterday, was the appearance day of Sri Radha Raman Ji. Yesterday. And in Vrindavan, big festival at Radharaman temple, and where the place where Radharaman actually appeared, that place has a beautiful mandap there. I'm sure they're decorating and so many things. Yes, and there's also Parameshwari Thakur also appeared. And it is also Sri Krishna's pool or full dol vihar. That means that there's a boat, and Krishna is put onto that boat and is decorated with many flowers, and he is pushed here and there on that boat. So Srila Bharati Maharaj is telling that today is a very special day, for it includes so many auspicious titis. It is the appearance day of Sri Radharaman Dev, of Srila Srinivasacharya, and the disappearance day of Srila Parameshwari Thakur. Today, Krishna also enjoys in a pond on a flower boat, and this occasion is called Sri Krishna's Pool Dol Bihar. And also it is Buddha Purnima, appearance day of Lord Buddha. And then he reminds us, as he always does, that we must definitely honor the appearance and the disappearance days, both of the Vaishnavas. This is because their remembrance is the treasure of our life, and their forgetfulness is our misfortune. Thus, in whatever way that we remember them, we will meet with auspiciousness. So first, we have a nice picture of Radharamanji, and our Gaurangi has sewn clothing for this very form of Krishna. How fortunate. And I have some clothing in my room from Radharaman as Radharaman's prasad. So, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he used to serve some group in a box. He had Shalagram Shilas. He used to perform archan and so forth. However, at that time in Vrindavan, the deities of Madan Mohan, Govinda Dev, and Gopinath They manifested, and they were being worshipped very nicely by Srila Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, and Sri Madhu Pandit, respectively. But Gopal Bhatta Goswami felt in his heart that if my Shalagram Shila also had a deity form, then I could have also decorated him very attractively. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami just wished for it. And immediately, from the Shalagram Shila, he doesn't say here, but the next day, Gopal Bhatta Goswami opened up his box, and there was Radharaman in his box. So, the Radharaman deity manifested on this very titi. And that is why, in the Radharaman temple, they celebrate with great festivities on this day. The deity is very small, because it has manifested from a Shaligram. Now, Buddha Purnima. Today is also Buddha Purnima. Now, originally, Srila Vyasadeva, he divided the Vedas into 4 divisions. What are these 4 divisions of the Vedas? Do you know? Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda. Now the Rig Veda, it consists of all different mantras. The Sama Veda consists of many hymns, many songs. The Yajur Veda consists of details related to yajnas, sacrifices, and also other actions. And the Atharva Veda, guess what the Atharva Veda contains? Guess what the Atharva Veda contains? The Atharva Veda contains knowledge in the mode of ignorance, where information about how to cast a spell, how to kill, and so on, is described there. Now, influenced by this, people also started performing human sacrifices. The masses of people, they were headed in that direction. So it was not a simple task to stall such practices. So for this reason, Bhagavan himself, he came as Buddha. And he went to the extreme. What was that? He told everyone, he preached, don't follow the Vedas. But yet, he took and he taught the words from the Vedas itself. What is that? Ahimsa paramo dharma mam sarvani bhutani. Now this was done due to the time, the place, and the circumstances. So Vishnu Buddha, we worship him. He is an incarnation of Krishna. And that's why you see him on our circumambulation of the altar. So, you know, this religious principle of ahimsa, here it says ahimsa paramo dharma. What does that mean? That means that non-violence, to be non-violent, is param dharma, is the supreme dharma. This is a statement in the Vedas. Now Lord Buddha, he told people don't follow the Vedas. Why? Why did he tell people not to follow the Vedas?
Stop sacrifices.
What?
To stop sacrifices.
What sacrifice?
Stop killing the animals.
Yeah, because they were doing animal sacrifices here, there, everywhere. killing animals, killing. But they were doing it in the name of the Vedas because certain animal sacrifices are allowed in the Vedas. So they did that. And even Srila Bharati Maharaj mentions that they were headed towards what? Human sacrifices, not just animals. Because of the Vedic statements, how to kill, how to perform human sacrifice, it's all there in the Vedas. So it was not easy, it was not an easy task that anybody could do to stop this from happening. Because the whole human society in Bharatvarsha, they were headed in that direction. Killing animals indiscriminately. So therefore, what did Lord Buddha do? He preached non-violence. Now, non-violence in and of itself is not the highest dharma, of course, but in some parts of the Vedas it says that. Ahimsa paramo dharma. To be non-violent. But what is the highest actual dharma in the Vedas? Savai pungsang paro dharma. Yato bhaktir hokshaje. Ahoitukiya pratihata. Yayatma suprasidati. That's the highest. That is the param dharma for the human beings. To worship Krishna with pure bhakti. But in order to people in the tamagun, in the mode of ignorance, this could not be preached. Therefore, he preached non-violence. Stop killing animals. And he succeeded to do that. So we worship Lord Buddha as a very merciful incarnation of Lord Krishna. But we should know that the Buddha that most people know of nowadays around the world, he is not this Vishnu Buddha. There was another Buddha who came after this Vishnu Buddha. He was born in Nepal, and then he came down to Gaya, where the Vishnu Buddha was born, and he performed austerities and so forth. But that Buddha, who later became known as Shakya Singha Buddha, so he preached this bogus philosophy that there's no soul, like Buddhism. That Buddhism denies the fact that the human beings have an eternal identity. No. Their whole position is nirvana. Do you know what nirvana means? Nirvana? What is the literal meaning of nirvana? What? Yeah, so nir and vana. Vana is referring to this material world. Vana. And nir is saying that it doesn't exist. Nirvana. So the modern day Buddhists, they like this concept that there's no eternal position. And this material world is temporary and false. But that conception of Buddhism also became mixed with Mayavadism. Mayavadism, we talked about that the other day on the appearance day of Sri Shankaracharya. How Shankaracharya is Lord Shiva, and he came to preach covered Buddhism, you see. So when our Srila Prabhupada came to the Western countries, he broadly affected by two different kinds of philosophical misunderstandings. What is that? Nirvishesh, Shunyavad. Nirvishesh means that the God or the Absolute Truth has no form. He has no form, no qualities, no paraphernalia like this. Nirvishesh. Impersonal. Impersonal. Brahma Jyoti. But the other Nirvisheshvad, and Shunyavad. Shunyavad means the philosophy of nothingness. Shunya means zero. The word Shunya means zero. Shunyavad means the philosophy of nothingness. That is modern day Buddhism, and Western people become taken in by it because they're suffering in the material world, which has forms and shapes, this and that. And they like this idea, like the picture of Lord Buddha, that he's simply sitting and he's going internal and he's finding his full satisfaction. So they try to mimic that. And they try to go to yoga classes to learn Hatha Yoga, this and that. But mostly they're misled. But this is not only referring to people that are trying to pursue philosophy. This Paschatya Desha Tarane, to deliver the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism, this is also referring to what? Even the religions that are in the West. Even the Abrahamic religions like Christianity, like Muslim, like Jewish, they have an impersonal conception ultimately. Although they preach, and although it's there in the Bible that God is the Supreme Father, and that man is made in the image of God. But many Christians, and I know this for a fact because I've delved into this extensively, and many Christians, when it comes down to the ultimate understanding God, they know God is not a person. God is a spirit. They're very confused. They don't understand. Of course, He's not a person like you and I that has a material body. No, but He's a person. He has form. So Western countries, because they don't have sufficient information, and there has been so much atheistic propaganda, therefore the whole Western world, even to this day, is filled with impersonalism and voidism. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, Gauravani Pracharane, the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are preached by the pure devotees in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and thus delivering the Western countries from Nirvisheshvad and Shunyavad. So, all glories to Lord Buddha Dev on his appearance day. Now we come to Srinivasacharya. Now we've heard this story recently because the disappearance day of Srinivasacharya was also recently. So today is also the appearance day of Srinivasacharya. Now, by worldly considerations, Srinivasacharya was born in the Burdhaman district of Bengal. He's born in the village of Chakandi. Now, when his father, who was named Chaitanya Das, was desirous of a son, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself blessed him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed Chaitanya Das, who became the father of Srinivasacharya. And Mahaprabhu understood that he was desiring to have a son. So Mahaprabhu said, whatever you have desired, it will be fulfilled. And then Srinivas appeared as his son. Now Srinivasacharya went to Navadvip. And in Navadvip he performed the Navadvip Dham Parikrama. With who? Do you know who was leading the party? Remember? Ishan Thakur. Who was Ishan Thakur? You don't know? Ishan Thakur was the servant in the house of Jagannath Mishra. Very, very great devotee. And Ishan Thakur also took care of, when Mahaprabhu took sannyas and left home, he took care of Sachi Mata and Vishnupriya Devi like this. So Ishan Thakur was always living there at the Yog Peeth. And so when Srinivasacharya came to Navadvip, Ishan Thakur was present at that time, and he took him on Navadvip Dham Parikrama. Of course, there were a group of devotees, but Ishan Thakur was leading that party. Now, Srila Bharati Maharaj is saying that all the different very exalted Vaishnavas who desired to meet with Mahaprabhu and other Vaishnavas. So what would happen is when those Vaishnavas came, then that Vaishnava already left this world. This is the case with Srinivasacharya. So many Vaishnavas left the world before he could reach to Navadvip and Jagannath Puri. But at last he was able to meet with Gadadhar Pandit. We read about that the other day. The Gadadhar Pandit, he waited for 11 months after Mahaprabhu left the planet in Jagannath Puri. And Gadadhar Pandit was weeping and in such extreme separation. But he waited because he knew that Srinivasacharya was coming. And he wanted to give very powerful blessings to Srinivasacharya. Now Srinivasacharya he had heard that Gadadhar Pandit had a copy of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It was very rare in those days that somebody had a copy of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because every single copy had to be done by hand. There were no machines to do it back then. So when he came and met Gadadhar Pandit, he also asked to see the Srimad Bhagavatam that Gadadhar Pandit was always reading from. He was reading to who? He was reading to Gauranga Mahaprabhu himself. And also he was reading it on his own. So when Gadadhar Pandit showed him that Srimad Bhagavatam and Srinivasacharya opened up the book, he noticed that on every page the actual writings, they were completely blurred and washed away by the tears of Gadadhar Pandit. And so he could not read it. They were not legible. Now, Srinivasacharya went to another place, only to discover that the other copy was also in the same condition. So he returned to Puri, but by that time Gadadhar Pandit also had left his body. So then next, he approached Abhiram Thakur. We heard about Abhiram Thakur the other day, because Abhiram Thakur had a whip. What's the word again in Russian? Yeah, nut.
Like a Danish name, Newt.
Okay.
Similar name.
Okay. So Abhiram Thakur had a whip, and he gave it. It had a name. The whip had a name. You know what the name was? Jai Mangala. Jai Mangala. Then, whatever person, if Abhiram Thakur used to beat him with his whip, what would happen? That person would be blessed with Krishna prema. And so, when Srinivasacharya came before him, then Abhiram Thakur whipped him once. Then he whipped him twice. And then the wife of Srinivasacharya stopped him. And she said, "Oh, he is just a small child. He won't be able to tolerate so much Krishna prema." So Srinivasacharya, then he went to Vrindavan. And there in Vrindavan he studied under all the Shastras, under the tutelage, under the teaching of Srila Jiva Goswami. And his companions, class, and that's 2 companions. Study was completed. They were there for some years with Srila Jiva Goswami. And after the study was completed, then Jiva Goswami gave them titles. These 3 Vaishnavas were given titles on behalf of the Vishva Vaishnav Raj Sabha. Jiva Goswami gave them titles. And he awarded them the name Acharya for Srinivas. That's how Srinivas became known as Srinivas Acharya. And then Dukhi Krishna Das, he got the name Shyamananda. And we know that whole pastime, how he found the ankle bell, or anklet of Srimati Radhika and so forth. And then Narottam Das Thakur received the title Thakur Mahashai. Narottam Thakur Mahashai. So these 3 personalities, they together, they performed the Braj Mandala Parikrama while they visited all the pastime places. And then later on, they loaded onto a bullock cart all the Vaishnava literatures, the books of the Goswamis and so forth, that had been handwritten. Now, on the journey that they started, they received the blessings of Jiva Goswami to go towards the east, the southern and east. And so they went towards Bengal to preach with this bullock cart and all the books. And there in Bengal, they had the intention that they would make copies of the books. So Srinivas Acharya, he was appointed for their traveling party, that he was in charge of this. Now, on the way at night, when everybody would go to sleep, they would take turns who would remain awake in order to guard these literatures. But finally, when they reached this Hindu town, the Hindu town's name was Vishnupur. And there was a king who was the king of that area. And his name was Virhambir. Now, the devotees, they were presuming that they could relax their vigilance a little bit because they didn't expect any danger from thieves or dacoits. Why? Because they were going through a Vishnu king's, a Vaishnava king's, area. So they said, oh, here the scriptures won't be stolen. So that night, they all slept. Now, as luck would have it, the king had an astrologer. Kings have astrologers. And that astrologer, he calculated. He said, a priceless treasure is passing through your kingdom. Because that king, Birhambir, he also had different dacoits who would go and steal from other persons who were passing through the kingdom. But now this astrologer said, oh, there is an incalculable, priceless treasure. It's passing now through your kingdom. So the king sent some thieves to loot the treasure. But he warned them against killing. They should not kill anyone. So observing all 3 sound asleep, Narottam, Srinivas, Shyamananda, they were all sound asleep. When the thieves came there, they saw, oh, they're all asleep. Then they took away the box of scriptures without any delay. But later when they opened the box, they discovered only scriptures. Now they were unsure if these scriptures could be of any use to them. So the king kept them aside. Now when Narottam, Shyamananda, and Srinivas woke up, then they realized that the books had been stolen. Now they were grief-stricken. Srinivasacharya felt great repentance. And he was thinking, my Guru Varga gave me this responsibility, and I let them down by sleeping out of laziness. Now Srinivasacharya, he was actually Gopal Bhatta Goswami's disciple. But since he had studied the Shastras under the guidance of Sri Jiva Goswami, so he considered Jiva Goswami to be his guru as well. So he resolved, I will not leave this place unless the stolen scriptures are recovered. It will certainly be good if I find the scriptures, because otherwise I will simply leave my body in this very place. So he decided to remain there while he instructed Narottam and Shyamananda, preach whatever you have learned through the medium of kirtan. So then they left. Narottam Thakur, he preached in the north part of Bengal, and he would sing in the Garanahati melody. Shyamananda preached in South Bengal and Orissa in the Reneti melody, while Srinivasacharya remained in Vishnupur. And he also preached via kirtan using the Manohar Shahi melody. So all three of them, they preached in different melodies. So actually their singing, their kirtan, was preaching. Yes. Now Srinivasacharya, he was preaching there in Vishnupur. So every day there was a conference, a sabha, and there was the recitation of the Bhagavatam. Now as long as he was hearing the Bhagavat, because he was attending that place, Srinivasacharya, and he would cry when he was hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam being read. Why would he cry? Because he thought, although my Guru Varga entrusted these books to me, they got stolen. So he was weeping and weeping. Now, upon hearing the Harikatha of Srinivasacharya, King Virhambir, he became very attracted to Srinivasacharya, and he became his disciple. So then, he observed that whenever Srinivasacharya used to start speaking Katha, that he would burst into tears. And the king asked him, "Oh Guruji, why do you cry?" Then Srinivasacharya replied, "I am so unfortunate that my Guru Varga entrusted the responsibility of these invaluable books that they had written. He gave me that responsibility, but the books got stolen." So then, when King Virhambir heard this from Srinivasacharya, he brought the box and he opened it to show the books. Now, seeing them intact, Srinivasacharya, he felt a wave of relief, and immediately he sent word to Vrindavan with the news about the recovery of the books. And earlier, Srila Kaviraj Goswami, he had also become worried, thinking that the Chaitanya Charitamrita book had disappeared from this world. But then he got pacified when his servant informed him that he had made a copy of it before he dispatched the original. Now in the meantime, he heard, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami heard, that Srinivasacharya had recovered all the scriptures, and he became very happy. So Srinivasacharya, actually he established the Madan Mohan deity, and it still remains there. Where? In Vishnupur. He established Madan Mohan deity there. Now when the kingdom was attacked, then Madan Mohan blew the enemy away with a kaman, that means a cannon, named Dal Mandala. Even now people go there to see that cannon. So, who did this? Who blew away with the cannon these persons who were trying to attack the kingdom? The deity, Madan Mohan. He operated the cannon and he blew away all these military forces that were trying to attack. So that cannon had a name. It was called Dal Mandala. Dal. And even now, people go there to see that cannon when they go to visit that holy place. Now, from the disciplic succession of Srinivasacharya, the various pujaris in Vrindavan, pujaris of the Gopinath deity, Madan Mohan, Govinda Damodar, all the other deities also. These pujaris, they were in the disciplic succession of Srinivasacharya. So that is why even today in Jaipur, you will observe that all the pujaris are Gaudiyas. And this is all due to the mercy of Srinivasacharya. Even the pujaris of Madan Mohan in Karoli, they are Gaudiyas. And the root of this is Srinivasacharya. So the Sad Goswami Ashtakam that we sing, that was composed by Srinivasacharya. So in that Ashtakam, Srinivasacharya has brilliantly described the life and the history of the Goswamis. In this Ashtakam, he described how they spent their days and so on doing kirtan. Krishnot kirtana gana nartana paro premamritambo nidhi. So he wrote in that Ashtakam, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, and Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami. I offer my obeisances to those six Goswamis who are always engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and in dancing. Now later in the Ashtakam, he also mentions how the Goswamis wandered around Braj, experiencing the pangs of separation. They were calling out, Hey Radhe, Brajadevike Chalalite, Hey Nandasuno Kutaha. Now crying out to Srimati Radharani, saying, Hey Radhe, Brajadevike, where are you? Are you in a forest on the banks of the Yamuna? Are you near Radha Kunda? Where can I find you? So like this, they searched in a mood of Mahavivala. Everything had been revealed in this Ashtakam. So now, that's Srinivasacharya's Katha from Srila Bharati Maharaj, and now he goes and very briefly he tells about another great personality whose disappearance day is today, and that is Srila Parameshwari Thakur. Now, where was Parameshwari Thakur born? In Attapur. That is in the Hooghly district of West Bengal. And in fact, in that very place, his deities are still being served there. So, Parameshwari Thakur was born in the family of Vaidyas. A Vaidya is a doctor, a physician. So, in another song, Vaishnava Vandana, it is said, Parameshwar Das Thakur Vandibo Savadhane Shrigale Loyal Nam Sankirtan Stane. And this is telling that one time, when Parameshwari Thakur was in the midst of big, huge Sankirtan, then there were so many devotees who assembled there. Then some atheist person, he took a dead fox and he threw it into the middle of the Sankirtan party. You know what a fox is? What's your word for fox? Do you know the word for fox? Yeah, fox. Fox. Not really. It's in the family of cats. Cat family, not dog family. But it's a fox. So, in Sankirtan, the atheistic persons, they took this dead fox, this animal, they threw it into the middle of the Sankirtan party. And you know what happened? Parameshwari Thakur, he revived that Shrigala. Shrigala means fox. He revived it. He made it alive again, and he also made him sing kirtan, this fox. That was the power of Parameshwari Thakur. Can you do that? Hell no. So, now, yesterday was also the appearance day of our great Acharya, Sri Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri is the guru of who? Yes, and many other disciples also. But he is especially the guru of Ishwara Puri, who became the guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes. So Madhavendra Puri is a very important personality in our line. So in a brief way, Srila Bharati Maharaj is describing this Katha about Madhavendra Puri, and he is telling, because Madhavendra Puri was a very renounced, always just wandering from one village to another, in Vrindavan, in Braj Mandala. But in his extreme mood of renunciation, then Srila Madhavendra Puri took a vow. He made a vow that he would never ask anything from anyone. He would not go asking here and there. He would not go to ask for food. He would not ask for shelter, clothing, or anything else. And also, he vowed that he would only accept some milk. That's all, nothing else. And he also would only do that between sunrise and sunset, not after sunset, not before sunrise. So he was not inclined to accept anything more. So this is known as Ayachaka Vritti. Ayachaka Vritti. And it means that that person will accept only only things which comes of their own accord. Not that he's asking anyone for it. No, they just suddenly, a person comes, gives it to him. So that's called ayachaka vritti. Now he did not take these vows to impress others or to obtain name, fame, or material benefit, but solely he took these vows for the purpose of engaging all his time in chanting the names of the Lord and in remembering his pastimes. Vows like this of Madhavendra Puri, this is not appropriate for all different types of devotees. It is only appropriate for very advanced devotees like Madhavendra Puri Pad. Why? Because they have already established a deep relationship with the Lord. So only they can take such vows like this. Srila Bharati Maharaj is telling a story that once when he and his preaching party went to Haridwar, so they heard of one sadhu from other people while they were there. And this sadhu was very famous. Why? Because he never asked for anything from anyone. And he was only surviving on whatever came by itself. But when the devotees approached him, who was sitting, then they noticed that he had a sign, a board in front of him. And written on the board was, "If any devotees of the Lord wish to donate rice, dal, and so on, I will accept." So obviously he was being very deceitful, because he was trying to become very renowned as a person who never asks for anything. But then he made the exception, well, I didn't say that I wouldn't ask in writing. So he made a signpost asking. But Madhavendra Puri Pad, he was not like this so-called sadhu. He completely depended on the Lord, and he never advertised his vows to anyone. So now a question becomes raised by Srila Bharati Maharaj, that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna makes a promise in the 9th chapter, verse 22. What is that verse? Ananyas chintayantu mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nitya viyuktanam yogakshema vaham yaham. So what is the meaning? What is Krishna telling here? He's saying in the Gita to Arjuna, for those persons who are devoid of any other desires, and they are always absorbed in contemplation of me, and who always are engaging in worshipping me, then for those devotees I personally carry all their necessities. I personally carry all necessities of my devotees. And I also preserve what they presently have. So Sri Krishna, he promises that he will take full responsibility for the maintenance of a person who meditates exclusively on him. Ananyas chintayantama. And then, just like a mother is always concerned about the welfare of her dependent children, Sri Krishna is always concerned for his surrendered devotees. So once Madhavendra Puri Pad, he was sitting near to Govinda Kunda in Govardhan. We've gone there many times. So Madhavendra Puri was sitting there near Govinda Kunda, near Govardhan, and he was absorbed there very deeply in chanting. And it was nearing sunset, and he had not received any milk that day, so he was fasting. Now at that time, the Lord, Krishna, he appeared in front of Madhavendra Puripad disguised as like an ordinary village cowherd boy. He came before Madhavendra Puri like that. And then he asked to Madhavendra Puri, "Oh, Baba, dusk is approaching, and you have still not asked for food? Why haven't you eaten anything?" And Madhavendra Puripad replied, "How do you know that I have not eaten anything, or that I've gone begging anywhere? How do you know?" Then the Lord said to him, "The women of my village, they informed me that you have been sitting from morning to evening, and you have not requested a single thing to eat or drink." So now the Lord, who is disguised as a cowherd boy, he said, "In my village no one goes fasting, and that's why I brought milk for you." So Krishna, he had noticed that Madhavendra Puripad intently focused upon him, and he was paying very close attention to his words. Now he understood that Madhavendra Puripad was wondering who he was, this cowherd boy. So Madhavendra Puripad, he was worried that Madhavendra Puri would recognize him. Krishna was worried that Madhavendra Puri would recognize that he's Krishna, this cowherd boy. So he excused himself. Krishna excused himself. "I am in a rush. Please keep the pot. I will come back for it." So then as soon as Madhavendra Puri drank the milk in that pot, he felt astonished, for he had never tasted milk like this before, and the taste was not of this world. And furthermore, he was unable to forget that boy. Now he waited eagerly for the boy to return, because the boy had given his word that he would return. And while he was waiting for him, Madhavendra Puri, he fell asleep. Now the boy appeared in his dream. Yes, Amazon. Yes, coming right now, coming. Okay, so the boy, oh, I lost it. Okay, go back there again. So then Madhavendra Puripad fell asleep, and then the boy appeared in the dream of Madhavendra Puri, and he said, "My name is Gopal. I was installed by King Vajranabha, and now at one point Mlechas and Yavanas came to attack. So my sevaks, they feared that I would be attacked. So they took me from the top of Govardhan Hill, and then they hid me in this kunja, and then they escaped. They ran away. Now, O Madhavendra, I have been suffering from cold, from heat, and from hunger since that time. And I have been waiting for you since a long time. And I've been thinking, Kavayasi Madhav Ama Koribe Sevan. Oh, when will Madhavendra Puri come here to serve me? So I am requesting you to please remove me from this place and to serve me. Now the question may be asked, why did the Lord appear to Madhavendra Puripad as Gopal? Up to that point, Madhavendra Puripad had never engaged in serving the deity form. Why? This is because Nam Vigraha Swarup Teen Ek Rupa. Tine Bed Nahi Teen Chidananda Rupa. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. And it's describing that the Lord's holy name, the Lord's form, and the Lord's personality are all one and the same. And there is no difference between them. Now, since all of them are absolute, they are all transcendentally blissful. And there is no difference between Bhagavan's name and Bhagavan's form. Now, early the next morning, Madhavendra Puripad approached the villagers, and he explained that the lord of their village was hidden in the jungle, buried beneath the groves, and thus he was in need of their assistance to be removed. So with their help, the Lord was recovered from the Kunja, and he was placed on the top of Giriraj Govardhan. However, it was observed that the Lord was unable to stand without any support. So Madhavendra Puripad arranged for 3 big stones to support the Lord. So, how is it possible that the same Lord who walked to give milk to Madhavendra Puripad and spoke directly with him, now that same Lord is requesting assistance, and he's demonstrating complete helplessness? The Lord who knows everyone's heart, the cause of all causes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is suddenly unable to stand without support in his deity form. So for the pleasure of his devotees, the Lord performs his pastimes as a deity. He was devoid of independence. This deity is fully dependent, requiring so much assistance. So the Lord performed that pastime. Now, Madhavendra Puripad, he performed the Anakut festival. Anakut. Like they do every year, and like they did at the time when Krishna was present. They performed the Anakut festival with the huge piles of so many cooked foods, and all offering to the Lord. So when Madhavendra Puri had rescued the deity and put him properly, so all the village people, some of them, they were pujaris for the deity, and they were serving the deity. And they continued to perform this Anakut festival of huge amounts of bhoga being offered to the deity. How long did they do that? Under the direction of Madhavendra Puri? 2 years. For 2 years with the help of the nearby villagers. But guess what? Madhavendra Puri did not accept any prasadam during that time. Only milk. And even that milk, he would only accept it if someone offered it to him without his asking for it. And he did not break his vow of taking only milk. So we see here that Madhavendra Puripad disregarded his vow of not asking anything from anyone, and he requested the help of the villagers for the service of the Lord. But for himself, Madhavendra Puripad retained his vow of not taking anything besides milk. But he broke his vow for the service of the Lord, but not for his own gratification. So Srila Bharati Maharaj is ending this remembrance by saying, I pray at the lotus feet of Madhavendra Puri Pad, today remembering him and begging for a particle of his mercy. So, there's one more katha, as I mentioned earlier, that there's a great devotee of and disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who disappeared today on this Titi, the day after the full moon. And so Srila Bharati Maharaj has given a biographical sketch of him, and now he's including that here. Now, prior to joining the Gaudiya Math full-time, Srila Goswami Maharaj, Bhaktisaranga Goswami, he was known as Sri Atul Chandra Bandyopadhyay, and he worked for the Indian Railways. Now, they provided him with a very stable residence. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, once he visited and he stayed there for 3 days at his residence in 1921. And then, as a result of his divine association during that 3-day visit, Sri Atul Chandra Bandyopadhyay decided to dedicate his life to serving the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And he followed the principle of the verse, Gurum eva bigachchet, from the Mundak Upanishad. He understood that upon approaching Sri Guru, one ought to surrender oneself completely without returning home for anything. So, therefore he packed all his household bureau, all his household items, his table, his chair, his bureau, and so on. And he packed them all onto a truck, and he brought them to the mutt. He did not leave anything behind, so as to ensure that he would never have to revisit his house to settle pending matters. So Sri Atul Chandra Bandyopadhyay and Sri Srimad Bhakti Prakash Aranya Goswami Maharaj, they visited many homes and offices to collect donations and to find new subscribers for the Gaudiya Math's weekly magazines titled Gaudiya. Now, in those days, the Gaudiya was publishing Srimad Bhagavatam in installments, and then often including pictures of Srila Prabhupada and of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and other Vaishnava acharyas. So one day, a person asked to this Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj, he asked him the following: Srimad Bhagavatam is said to be non-different from Bhagavan. So why then have you included pictures of mortal humans on its same pages? This person used the terminology mortal human beings, because he said the Srimad Bhagavatam is completely spiritual transcendental. So why have you put pictures of mortal humans on these same pages as the Bhagavatam? Now, for whatever reason, Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj kept silent. And therefore, Srila Atul Chandra Bandyopadhyay, he gave an eloquent yet very assertive reply. Here's what he told. You have not fully understood the special divine characteristics of Grantha Bhagavat, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the divine characteristics of Bhakta Bhagavat, the devotee of Bhagavatam. nor have you learned the purports of the many essential verses that describe the nature of devotees, such as what? Sakshadaritvena samasta shastra, ruktastata bhavyada eva sadavi, kintu prapurya priya vitasya, bande guru sri charanaravindam. And what does this verse tell? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written this, Gurvastakam. And he says that the scriptures all unanimously proclaim Sri Guru to be Sakshad Hari. That Sri Guru is directly Sri Hari. And this is a fact jointly corroborated by all saintly persons. Yet, at the same time, Sri Guru is very dear to Bhagavan. So, I adore the lotus feet of that Sri Gurudev. So now, this Bandhopadhyay, Atul Chandra Bandhopadhyay, who was answering that person, because that person was insulting our Guru Varga, that these are ordinary mortal persons, and you've put them in the pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, now he told that you don't know anything about Grantha Bhagavat and about Bhakta Bhagavat. So how then will it be possible for you to comprehend that the photographs published in the Gaudiya, they are not of ordinary persons, but they are of very special, self-realized personalities. And moreover, it will be difficult for you to understand eternal in the same way Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from him. I am from a Brahmin family. This is Bhakti Saranga Goswami. I am from a Brahmin family so high that 14 generations of your family would consider themselves grateful if but one of them happened to drink water from a place where I had passed urine. Because in Bengal, these persons who come down in these lines from Nityananda Prabhu and so forth, they're very such family. And he's informing this person who was criticizing his gurus that I want you to know that I'm born in a Brahmin family that is so high that 14 generations of your family would consider themselves fortunate, and they would consider themselves grateful if only one of them would happen to drink water from a place where I had passed urine. Now, he continues and he says, but you, for some reason, you're questioning the Master at whose feet I have offered my head. And you are also questioning the magazine that I have come to distribute. So in the evening time, Srila Aranya Goswami Maharaj recounted the story to Srila Prabhupada. This story. And he told Srila Prabhupada that although he was unable to answer the man's question, Srila Atul Chandra Bandhopadhyay, who was relatively new to the mutt, he gave an apt reply. And upon hearing this, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, tears flowed from his eyes. And then he said, Srimad Mahaprabhu has sent one of his close associates to assist us. So we have heard that Srimad Mahaprabhu and his associates, they appeared before Srila Prabhupada, and they also assured him. They assured Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, the associates and Mahaprabhu assured him that they would provide both the means and the manpower that is required to spread Shuddha Bhakti among the masses of people. You know when they appeared to him? When did they appear to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati? Mahaprabhu and his associates, they appeared before him. Do you know when and where? When did Gauranga Mahaprabhu himself and his associates appear directly in front of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Only to him. When did that happen? You don't know this history, huh? You don't know? You don't know this history. I'm telling you now. When Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, took a vow to chant 1 billion names of Krishna, then he began to execute that vow. Where was he staying? He was staying at the place called Chandrasekhar Bhavan. At the time of Mahaprabhu, this was the house of Mahaprabhu's intimate associate named Chandrasekhar Acharya. So, but there was no mutt at that time. Later this became Sri Chaitanya Mutt, Akara Mutt Raj, the central mutt of Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada's Gaudiya Mutt preaching mission. And that is in Mayapur, that we go there, where Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada's Samadhi is there, and his deities are also there. So, he fulfilled that vow by chanting for 10 years, that he would chant 1 billion names of Krishna, 3 lakhs every day. At the end of fulfilling that vow, right there in Mayapur, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself appeared in front of him, and along with Mahaprabhu's associates. And then he, Mahaprabhu, and his associates gave their assurance and their blessings to him, to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, that now for his preaching mission, they would provide everything. They would provide all the means, all the paraphernalia that is required, and all the manpower that is required. To do what? To spread Shuddha Bhakti among the masses of people. So, in this pastime, Srila Prabhupada confirmed that Mahaprabhu himself had sent his dear associate, Srimad Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj. Okay, that's why I have such a special feelings for him, this great disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Now, this Atul Chandra Bandyopadhyay, he didn't take sannyas right away. That was not until later. Even it was not until after the disappearance of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And whenever Atul Chandra Bandyopadhyay collected donations, then he always dressed in a very formal attire consisting of a coat and of pants. Now one day, he visited the house of what is called a Sethji. This means the house of a very, very wealthy person. Then he rang the doorbell. And the owner personally answered the door. So when Sri Atul Chandra Bandyopadhyay introduced himself as a member of the Gaudiya Mutt, then that Setaji, he replied by saying, I have no faith in Gaudiya Math. This is at the doorstep. He's ringing the doorbell. The owner comes and he makes a declaration, I have no faith in Gaudiya Math. Now, what did Atul Chandra do? He ignored that man's words. He brushed past him and he entered into the house. He ignored that man's words. So that Sethaji, he became irritated. Did you not hear me? He asked. I said I have no faith in the Gaudiya Math. Now Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu took a seat in a nearby chair, speaking nothing in reply. Now that Sethaji became so irate, and again he repeated, I said I have no faith in the Gaudiya Math. So this time, Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu responded, and he said, yes, yes, I have heard you. This is exactly why I have come to your house, to generate your faith in the Gaudiya Math. Even before I came, I knew that you had no faith in the Gaudiya Math. For if you had, you could not have resisted visiting. Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu then expertly explained the aim of the Gaudiya Math's mission and its unique specialities. And being highly influenced by Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu's scholarly presentation, the Sethaji gratefully offered him a large donation. And what did Atul Chandra Prabhu do? He refused that donation. He said, I have not come for a donation, he said. Believe me when I say, I have come only to generate your faith in the Gaudiya Math. Then, with great respect, the Sethaji personally drove Atul Chandra back to the Gaudiya Math, where he received darshan of Srila Prabhupada, and he offered the donation to him directly. And thereafter, he visited the Gaudiya Math regularly. These are the accounts of the preaching of Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj. Amazing. So, there's more. I'm just checking. Yeah, it's not too much more. So I'll complete this, even though we've gone a little bit over time. So now the next section is delivering an offender. So here's another offender. Once, Srila Prabhupada took Sri Atul Chandra Bandhopadhyay, and he also took an entourage of devotees to preach in a place called Kanpur. Now, while Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu went to the city for a short time to collect donations, then the local district magistrate, he came to visit Srila Prabhupada. And during their conversation, the magistrate, he made a derogatory comment to Srila Prabhupada, and he said, most of your followers seem highly educated. Is it your mission to turn educated people into mendicants? And then, as the magistrate said this to Prabhupada, he got up and he abruptly left. So later, when Atul Chandra Prabhu returned to see Srila Prabhupada, then Srila Prabhupada informed him of this encounter with that magistrate. And as Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu listened to Srila Prabhupada, he noticed that the magistrate's criticism had made Srila Prabhupada unhappy. he immediately hailed a horse cart and he went to the magistrate's house. When he arrived, he told him, Srila Prabhupada is an extraordinary personality. He is a personal associate of Bhagavan. Your disrespectful comment has ensured your total ruin. You have played with fire. And now 14 generations of your family will have to suffer in hell. The district magistrate became frightened. He asked Atul Chandra what he must do to and serve him somehow. Then the magistrate and Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu at once returned to the mutt, where Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu implored Srila Prabhupada, please be kind to this man and absolve him of his offense to your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada then spoke to the magistrate on many topics, and the magistrate served him by offering a donation of 500 rupees. 500 rupees back then is like a few lakhs of rupees right now. Okay? Back then, one single rupee or even a portion of a rupee could maintain an entire household for a whole month. Okay? So, that magistrate offered Prabhupada, he served him with a donation of 500 rupees. Now Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu accepted, he had accepted a huge responsibility when he resolved to save the district magistrate from committing a serious offense. This anecdote demonstrates many of Srila Goswami Maharaj's transcendental qualities. He had firm conviction in the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. He could recognize the awful fate that in store for those who offended Srila Prabhupada, and he mercifully strived to find a way for them to atone for their offenses. So by this, he delivered many offenders, and like a true well-wisher, he did whatever he could to cultivate auspiciousness on their behalf. Now, while Srila Prabhupada was heading to Braj Mandala to perform the Sri Braj Mandala Parikrama with his associates, a particular year, there is a person named Sri Halagu Lal, who is the head of the managing committee of the Sri Banki Bihari temple. And that person issued a statement to almost all of the prominent temples in Vrindavan, notifying them that Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati would soon arrive with all his followers, and all of his followers are Harijans. You know what that is? They're like Gandhi movement, making mlechas and shudras into devotees of the Lord, Harijan. And then he was a managing committee member of the Banki Bihari temple. He told all the temples in Vrindavan, he and his followers are not to be allowed entrance into our temples. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. When Sri Atul Chandra Bandyopadhyaya came to hear of this, he took a group of his Brahmin-born godbrothers, including Sri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, who was then named Hayagriv Brahmachari, Sri Narottamananda Brahmachari, later known as Sri Bhakti Kamala Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, Sri Pranava Ananda Brahmachari, later Sri Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, and others. He took them along with himself to go and meet with this Gosai, or this head priest of the Radha Madan Mohan temple. He went to meet with that head priest. Now in conversing with the respected Gosai, Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu asked him, do we who have taken birth in Brahmin families, do we seem to you like we are fallen deviants? Have we not conducted ourselves according to the words of Scripture when we resolved to follow the path of pure Vaishnava Dharma? Srila Prabhupada has propagated the principles of Daiva Varnashram Dharma, which is the social designation of individuals according not to the race or the familial lineage, but to their innate propensities. So to maintain a mundane conception of Srila Prabhupada will bring only ill fortune to the world. Moreover, may I remind you that I am Atul Chandra Bandopadhyay. When the Brahmins of your family approached our family seeking the hand of my daughter in marriage, I forbade it. I told them, we are Kulin Brahmanas. How could we possibly consider allowing our daughter to marry into your family when we despise even the idea of dining in close proximity to you? This is what he told to the manager of the Madan Mohan temple. Because Madan Mohan and the other temples had received this communication from that manager of the Banki Bihari temple. So he chose, Atul Chandra, he chose to bring his Brahmin-born godbrothers to speak with that person of the Madan Mohan temple. And he told them what you just heard. And then when that Gosai in the caste Goswami family heard that, he begged for forgiveness. Then he accompanied Sri Atul Chandra Prabhu to see Srila Prabhupada. And then he brought Srila Prabhupada and the Parikrama party for darshan of Sri. He spoke of his hand when I tell my support, then she bodied with it during their meeting, pointing to. Then again, and this time, businessman held up two. The merchant made a gesture. Srila Chandra Prabhu said, Maharaj, 100 or something else, to bless him on the forehead as they were leaving. And then when Srila Sridhar goes, otherwise man's association would often say about Radhisma, completely uprooted, being turned. Give even after better than the other, which is most famous stance about Srila more. But this is all that before when Srila Bhakti, which were Bhakti Hridaya, what? Very highly respected the Gaudiya Math. What took place? Well, he was back very quickly. There's one incident that. So, and then he didn't have. I cannot count. Behind, looked and he saw, yeah. So, and then the manager admitted, yes, it is. Of Sri beloved Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan came very close prior to a photo of him right there in Vrindavan, speaking through to is the famous, and his samadhi is samadhi there. The Ganga, which Nanda, so also samadhi of Bhakti since today. Yeah. We have this very, very auspicious, and so we will complete.
There is a Maharajasam first.
Any details? I don't know. In 1990, so I went in to return to for 3 days. One of those in London, British personality meeting, the Saranga Goswami. Krishna Hare Rama. Hare Krishna Rama. Hare Krishna Bhakti Sindhu Eva. I'm not so familiar. Appearance day, 28th, and the airport. She will go. So with that time, Wednesday, we will have Ekadasi, Wednesdays, and then on the 16th, and the appearance Devi. Okay, so that's what I heard at the ISKCON temple.